Life doesn't change simply because we wish it would. It changes when we change. We often look at our surroundings, our situations, and even the people in our lives, hoping that something outside of us will shift to make things better. But the truth is, real transformation doesn't begin around us, it begins within us. So many times we pray for change. We ask God to open doors, to bring new opportunities, to remove obstacles. And while He certainly has the power to do all of that, what if He's waiting for us to step forward first? What if the change we desire isn't being delayed because of others, but because we're not ready to receive it? Think about the seasons. Winter doesn't resist when spring comes. The trees don't argue with the changing weather. Nature understands something we often forget. Growth is a process, and every season has its purpose. If we remain the same, expecting different results, we will stay stuck in the same place, wondering why nothing ever improves. If we desire better relationships, we must first become better in how we love, how we listen, how we forgive. If we want success, we must first develop the discipline and character to handle it. If we long for a stronger faith, we must be willing to trust God even when we don't understand His timing. Change is not about waiting for the right moment. It's about becoming the right person. It's easy to blame circumstance. It's easy to say, if only life were different, then I could be different. But the truth is, life will always bring challenges. There will always be obstacles. What makes the difference is not what happens to us, but what happens within us. So ask yourself, what needs to change in you? Is it your perspective, your attitude, your willingness to step out in faith? Whatever it is, don't wait for life to make the first move, because for things to change, you have to change. It's one thing to desire change, but it's another to take part in it. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It requires effort, intention, and a willingness to step beyond what is comfortable. We can hope for better days. We can pray for new opportunities. But if we are not willing to take action, we will find ourselves in the same place year after year, wondering why nothing has improved. God gives us opportunities, but He also expects us to take responsibility. When He told the Israelites to enter the Promised Land, He didn't carry them there. They had to step forward in faith, face obstacles, and fight battles. The blessing was there, but they had to take possession of it. In the same way, many of the things we desire are within reach, but they require our participation. If we want stronger faith, we must spend time in His presence. If we want healthier relationships, we must be intentional about love and forgiveness. If we want success, we must be willing to do the hard work necessary to achieve it. So often, when we look at our lives and the things we want to change, we focus on everything happening around us. We think, if only my circumstances were different, if only people treated me better, if only life were easier. But what we sometimes fail to realize is that true transformation doesn't begin around us, it begins within us. God is not just working in our situations, He is working in us. When we ask God to change something in our lives, He often starts by changing us first. We pray for patience, and instead of instantly making us patient, He gives us opportunities to practice patience. If we want real change, we must be willing to let God work on the inside first. That means surrendering our fears, our doubts, and even our comfort. It means trusting that His process is leading us somewhere greater. Because when we allow Him to change our hearts, our thoughts, and our attitudes, everything else begins to shift. The way we see life changes. The way we handle challenges changes. And as we change, the circumstances around us begin to change as well. So don't just look for external solutions. Let God do His work within you. Because for things to change, you have to change. Struggles are not obstacles meant to break us. They are opportunities designed to refine us. Too often we look at difficulties as things to escape. as burdens we wish would disappear. But what if the very challenges we try to avoid are the ones preparing us for what we've been asking for? Growth never happens without resistance. Strength is not developed in ease, but in adversity. When we go through seasons of struggle, it's easy to wonder, why is this happening to me? But maybe the better question is, what is this teaching me? Every difficulty carries a lesson. It teaches patience when things don't happen in our timing. It teaches endurance when we feel like giving up. It teaches faith when we can't see the way forward. And in every struggle, God is not absent. He is present, working within us, strengthening us, shaping us into the people we were meant to be. Think about gold being refined. It must go through intense fire before its impurities are burned away. The heat is not to destroy it, but to purify it, to bring out its true value. The same is true for us. Struggles reveal our weaknesses, our fears, and the things holding us back. But when we allow God to use them, those same struggles refine us, making us stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the next season of life. Because for things to change, you have to change. Change is never easy. It stretches us, challenges us, and pushes us beyond what is comfortable. And because of that, many people resist it. They would rather stay where they are, even if they are unhappy, rather than step into the unknown. But without change, there is no growth. Without growth, there is no future. We often pray for God to take us to the next level, to open new doors, to bring new opportunities. But what we sometimes fail to realize is that the very change we are asking for requires us to become someone different. We cannot step into something greater while holding on to the same mindset, the same habits, or the same fears. God calls us to grow, and growth always requires change. One of the greatest barriers to change is fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of leaving behind what is familiar. But fear is not an excuse to remain the same. God did not create us to live small, afraid to step into the fullness of what He has planned. The enemy wants us to believe that staying where we are is safer, that avoiding change is easier. But the truth is, refusing to change is what keeps us stuck. It keeps us repeating the same cycles, living with the same frustrations, and never experiencing the full life that God has designed for us. Because for things to change, you have to change. The greatest mistake we can make when it comes to change is believing that we have more time. We tell ourselves, I'll start tomorrow. I'll change when I feel ready. I'll take that step when the time is right. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect time. There will always be excuses, distractions, and reasons to wait. And if we're not careful, we will spend our entire lives waiting for a moment that never comes. Change doesn't happen someday. It happens today. The decisions we make right now determine the direction of our future. If we want to grow, if we want to become better, stronger, wiser, then we must start now. Not when we feel like it, not when circumstances improve, but now, because every delay keeps us exactly where we are. We can hope for better days, we can dream of a different future, but dreams without action lead nowhere. If we truly want things to be different, we must be willing to act now. We must stop waiting for permission, for the perfect conditions, for the fear to go away. Because the only way to move forward is to take the first step, even when we don't feel ready. Change is never easy, but it is always necessary. If we want a better life, a stronger faith, and a greater future, we must be willing to grow, to step beyond what is comfortable, and to allow God to shape us into who we were meant to be. Nothing in life changes on its own. The breakthroughs we seek, the success we desire, the transformation we long for, all of it begins within us. It's not enough to simply wish for change or to wait for the perfect moment. We must take responsibility for our growth. We must be willing to embrace challenges, to learn from struggles, and to trust that every step forward is leading us towards something greater. The process may be difficult, but the reward is always worth it. So as you move forward, remember this: you are not stuck. You are not powerless. You have the ability to change, to grow, to become everything God has called you to be. But it starts with a choice. A choice to stop waiting and start becoming. A choice to believe that real change is possible. A choice to take action. Today, may you have the courage to step into the life that is waiting for you. May you embrace the journey of growth with faith and determination, and may you always remember, when you change, everything around you begins to change too.